Stranger, you've just broken the access code to this game. A game in which your destiny depends upon your own decisions, and where the ultimate weapon is your mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please take your seats at this time as the program will begin momentarily.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm Gen X Dave. That's Smoking the Bowl. This is Gen X and Beyond.
How you doing, bud?
What's going on, dude?
Oh, not much.
I got some 5-day-old news that I want to bring up. You ready to get into it?
5-day-old news?
Yep, 5-day-old news.
Okay.
Trade to Black podcast.
To our latest Trade to Black podcast. I'm your host, Shad Eels, and today we're diving into one of the most important legal updates in cannabis reform we've seen in a long time, and it centers around the news from this week involving Terry Cole, the new nominee for DEA administrator under President Donald Trump. As mentioned earlier this week, Cole made headlines for stating that if confirmed, reviewing the rescheduling of marijuana would be one of his first priorities. That raised a lot of questions, so what do we take from all this from a legality standpoint? Well, we checked in earlier this week with one of the sharpest legal minds in cannabis policy, attorney Shane Pennington, and here's what he told us. First, Shane was clear. This announcement signals a major shift in momentum. Why? Because in his own words, once the administration turns its attention to this, it can be done very quickly. We need to understand that by Terry Cole stepping in with rescheduling as a stated priority, it's no accident. Again, according to Pennington, he believes there's no way Cole would have made that statement to Congress without coordination from the administration. And that's promising. But here's where things get more powerful. If Cole is confirmed, he's the boss of the DEA. That means he has broad discretion over how this process unfolds. He could, for example, 1, move forward with the ALJ hearing, 2, cancel the hearing altogether and go straight to a final rule, and 3, determine the current legal process is compromised and pivot direction entirely. That's the power of being in the chair. He holds all the cards, and what's more, the groundwork is already laid. Further to that, there are 2 gorillas in the room. First, the HHS recommendation to reschedule cannabis. That carries major weight and can't be ignored unless DEA provides extremely strong legal justification. 2 is the OLC memo, which Shane calls the elephant in the room. This legal opinion has authoritatively resolved major legal questions surrounding cannabis rescheduling, including treaties and medical use standards. And remember, no one except the President, Attorney General, Congress, or the OLC itself can override that opinion. Do not overlook that. Together, this science and law are aligned. In Shane's words, the HHS sets the bowling lane, the OLC sets the bumpers. The ball's already rolling, and any detour now needs serious justification.
Okay, so it's more than just the DEA then.
Yeah, it's the IDF and
HHS.
Yeah.
I don't think HHS is going to go against it. You know what I'm saying? Of rescheduling. I think they're all for it because it gives them an opportunity to create more and new meds. You know what I'm saying? New styles of pain relievers and stuff that wasn't normally out there in use before.
Right.
So there's that.
Saying that, some may ask, hey, we've seen this before, so what's different this time? And that's true. We've had rescheduling debates before, but not like this. So what do I mean by that? Well, for 1, we have a formal HHS recommendation. 2, we have a binding OLC opinion. And 3, a fully documented record of how the DEA under Ann Milgram handled this process, including alleged missteps. And finally, 4, and most importantly, a nominee publicly committed to reviewing this as a top priority. In other words, the legal and political infrastructure is already in place. The only question that remains, does this administration have the will to act? And we are about to find out. So what should the cannabis industry expect next? If Terry Cole is confirmed, all signs suggest movement is inevitable. The direction and speed will depend on how he chooses to wield his discretion as head of the DEA, which completely makes sense. But as Shane Pennington put it, all roads lead to Rome. Some are longer than others, but the train is definitely moving. So what do you all think of the moving process when it comes to rescheduling? Does this
Yeah, so let us know in the comments, guys. What do you think about this? What are your guys' opinions? Let us know.
help explain things a little bit better? Do you have any more questions? Let's keep the conversation going, so leave your comments below. We'd love to hear your feedback. As usual, make sure to like, subscribe, and smash on that bell for all notifications to stay up to date on the latest cannabis reform and policy information here at Trade to Black. That's it for today.
All right. Thanks, bud. We appreciate that.
Yes, very much so.
So that gives a little bit more hope and better hope.
Well, I mean, it's better than what the last administration had for us.
Yeah. I mean, it's a move forward. As slow as it's happening, it's still a move forward.
Right.
You know, so what can we say? There's nothing more we can say about that, Jack.
No.
Let's see what else has happened.
Joe and his wife thing went on The View today.
Yeah, don't care, bro.
Oh, but they spoke on his cognitive decline.
I don't care.
He didn't have one.
Is that what he says?
That's what he said.
Whatever. Whatever.
That's what he said. There was no cognitive decline.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, we could kind of get an idea of what's going on with the marijuana industry. We kind of know what's, what the deal is, but
Yeah, and today the new pope was picked.
new pope got picked today.
Yep. Guess
Probably
where he's
just-
from?
Where?
America.
An American pope.
An American pope.
That's crazy.
That's
Wow.
not ever been heard of. Like, never.
I've never heard of it.
I don't think there has ever been an American pope.
We could look that up.
All right. As long as I've been alive, I don't think that there's been an American pope. Let me just say that.
Yes, he's the only one ever from America elected to be pope. And guess where he is from?
Where? Illinois?
Chicago.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a Chicago Pope.
Mm-hmm. Pope Leo.
That's unusual.
And he is the first.
That's very, very unusual.
Well, I mean, These bitches are out here saying, if you voted for Trump, I hope you can fight. Bitch, I'll knock you out.
Do what?
People posting comments and pictures on TikTok and Instagram, and it says, if you voted for Trump, I hope you can fight.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb, man. I don't know if that was a right pick, bro. For Pope, anyway.
Why do you say that?
I mean, given what is, some of them preachers and all them, what they've been doing to kiddies.
Oh yeah. Oh, I already, dude. That's been how long ago?
Oh,
That's been
I wanted
uncovered.
to show you something, bro. Oh my God, dude. Remember that I was telling you about that kid who took weed gummies to school and got the whole class stoned?
Yeah, you told me about that.
Okay, well, it happened again.
No.
Yeah, a couple months ago.
A month ago?
Uh-huh.
Where at?
Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island, New
What
York.
is Long Island's stance on marijuana?
All right, this is 2 months old, bro. You ready for that?
Long
ready for
Island
this, bro?
marijuana laws.
According to Office of Cannabis Management, NY.gov, adults 21 years of age and older may possess up to 3 ounces of cannabis.
Holy crap.
What?
Okay. Adults 21 years of age in Rhode Island and older may possess up to 3 ounces of cannabis and 24 grams of concentrated cannabis.
I'm not talking about Rhode Island. I'm talking about Long Island, New York.
Oh, Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
here
what
we
I
go.
put, Long Island. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
here you go. Here you go. Watch this. This shit's fucking funny. Here we go.
Hey, Shirley, good evening to you. 12 of these students in total had to be rushed to area hospitals here in Suffolk County earlier today after an anything but ordinary school day. And tonight we are learning about 2 of the students who were sickened by these gummies that they took. Ambulances were called to the William Floyd Middle School earlier today after they started feeling sick. Soon, staff realized one of the students handed out weed gummies to fellow classmates in 9th grade, and they all started enduring the effects of the marijuana quickly. According to one parent, her son and daughter, 13 and
I'm sure they did.
14 years old, each took a gummy and were immediately overcome by the effects. The woman said doctors having to monitor the children for several hours in the ER and that they're getting fluids and checking their heart rate constantly. In a statement, the school district told us, quote, the Suffolk County Police Department and local EMTs responded en masse to provide care and assistance along with our school nurse to students. 11 of those students have been transported to local hospitals for assistance and 1 released into the custody of a parent. That parent spoke to me exclusively from the hospital a short time ago.
This is our children. I lose my kids, I wouldn't even know what to do. I wouldn't. I know, again, it's just a gummy, it's a THC. I don't know the effects of this stuff. From what I'm seeing so far, it's brutal. My child was foaming from the mouth.
At very high doses.
What? Your daughter had to have been taking something else other than THC gummies to be foaming from the mouth.
Uneducated.
We've had children come in completely altered. difficulty speaking, very, very sleepy, and not arousable. So it, again, is going to be dose dependent. The higher the dose, sometimes there is a very altered level of consciousness where they sleep for a prolonged period of time.
So 10 of the students were actually taken to Stony Brook University.
What a name.
11 of the stoners were taken to Stony Brook area hospital.
For a prolonged period of time.
Ugh. This is what, see, listen, there's responsibility with parents who ingest THC. Okay. And if you don't put your fucking shit up, you're going to have this happen. All right. This is not the first time. This is not the first time this has happened. I could go right now and look at multiple. I mean, there's really
what?
Buffalo, New York, Long Island, New York. What was that school? William Floyd School in New York. Why is it all in New York? You know what I'm saying? So why?
I don't know why. Where was the last one? Was it also in New York?
They were all, the three of them were in New York.
Why? Like, are the kids just getting into their parents' stash, or?
And I think it's the fault of
You think the parents not?
Yeah, they're not being responsible. They're not putting them up. They're not locking them up. They're not explaining to their youngins what they are and what they're for, and that they're not to be touched. And it's just uneducated, bro, but on the parents' part. So that's just how I'm looking. That's just how I see it.
Okay. And I mean,
come on, really. If you had 11-year-old running around your house, bro, and you had gummies, would you not educate?
Oh yeah, totally. But at what age do you educate? Like
well,
really,
you
what
sit
age
there and
do
tell 'em,
you
look,
start
this is my
educating?
medicine from my doctor that I have to take for my stomach. Lie to them and tell them they're not allowed to touch this, or just put them up in a safe.
Whenever I was younger, okay, I didn't hide my crap, and my daughter got on my chair that I had right beside my bed. It had my pile of weed on it, and my daughter, at I think 4 years old, came up to me and started, banging on my chair that had my weed on it, and saying, "What that? What that?" Well, that's Daddy's medicine. Don't touch it. That's Daddy's medicine. And that's all I ever had to tell her, for her to not fuck with Daddy's medicine.
It's simple. I mean, listen, it's going to come to a point in time that if you're a stoner or if you're medicating or whatever the case may be, it's no different from alcohol at this point. You know what I mean? You don't see students. I mean, I did, but I was in high school and there was a bunch of us that did, but you don't see middle schoolers taking a 12-pack of Budweiser.
Well, I'm sorry, but in my day,
you don't see
whenever I was going to school, it's more apt to be alcohol being brought to school than any kind of marijuana, drugs, or any kind.
I went to a farm town school, so we had a lot of mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? So,
and whenever I start remembering school, I'm in like Marion, Arkansas, so the southern, kind of I'd say not a city but a town
Yeah,
school.
little town. Yeah.
Um so I mean that's like I was into my um I think I started going to high school or ninth grade. Yeah, high school in Mississippi. So I was in Marion until, the finishing of eighth grade. And then I started in Mississippi at 9. And I went there until, well, they told me that I wasn't getting any kind of diploma or nothing for being in school because I was in special ed.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it came to that time to where 3,
2,
1, Guido.
Guido.
Alrighty, brother. So, to me, it's just the parents just not educate, because this ain't the first time that this has happened.
No, it's not, and it's sad. But honestly, how do I say this? The probability of a smoker having a kid and that kid not smoking is what? Very low.
Well, I mean, it all depends on when they get older. Are the parents going to sit there and, what is it? Are the parents going to allow the student to start intaking? If you're going to be that sick I've never heard of weed gummy making somebody foam at the mouth.
Right. Like I said, that child was taking something else other than THC gummies.
Or hold on. Or she had taking a higher dose of a gummy than the rest of the students at 11 years old, though, bro. At 11 years old, they can't ingest that shit like we can. You know what I'm saying?
That child was not 11 years old.
I'm just saying, what if the child, because the age range was 11 and younger.
No, it wouldn't. I thought it was 11th graders.
No, 11-year-olds, bro.
In a high school?
9th grade, bud. Freshman.
Yeah, they're a little bit older than 11 years old in 9th grade, bud.
Then you want to? No, I don't think so. No, they were in 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade. They were in a middle school. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. They're in middle school. Yep. New York Middle School called William Floyd Middle School. So, yeah, they were 7th, 8th graders.
7th, 8th graders. They're
Because when I went to 9th grade,
that's about that age.
Yeah, because when I went to 9th grade, I just turned 14 when I became freshman in high school.
Right.
So there's that. But I'm just saying that it's the parents' fault for not educating or not putting it up and securing it. Period.
Well, the child needs to learn a lesson also. It is partly the child's fault.
What if it didn't come from none of that group of students? It came from a student outside that group.
and he bought it from somebody off the street and handed it out to his friends.
I mean, there's many different scenarios. Nobody knows, and they're not talking about it.
Yeah, maybe it's not the parents that had the gummies at their house that the child took from said parents.
Yep. As far as speculation goes, that was 2 months old video. I just wanted to share it, and we're going to shoot that down. Anywho, moving on. What do you got? 3?
2?
1. Guido.
Well,
I need you to send me that ring light.
I know I have to get up there and get it up there. I will.
You still have my address, right?
If I don't, then I'll ask for it again. I mean, I got your number. Ain't like I can't contact you.
We'll try to get that thing in as fast as possible because I got a perfect spot right here behind my PC for it.
Okay. I got
and it'd be right behind my camera. It'd be perfect.
Okay. I got you.
Shine this beautiful face of mine.
I don't know about that, but I got you.
It'd make your old lady a lot happier to see this sexy face.
I don't know about that.
So, is that her in the background talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. She talking to you, ain't she? She hear you in there talking smack. Breathe, motherfucker.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
All right.
Breathe.
Good.
You good?
I'm breathing.
All right. All right. Breathe, motherfucker. Breathe, motherfucker.
We're gonna have announces first trade deals with USA or UK. I mean,
who?
Trump announces trade deal with the UK.
Really?
Yes.
Is that on YouTube?
No.
Well, I didn't know if you just typed it in to the search bar or if you typed it in the YouTube search bar.
No, it's
Trump,
on YouTube.
Donald Trump announces trade deal with United Kingdom. Should I believe CBS though?
I mean, it's not only CBS putting it out there. Here,
Who else? Fox too.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Trump announced a trade deal. Associated Press reported on it.
It's in his office. It's in the Oval Office. They're talking about it in the Oval Office.
Right, I know. I see it. It's an hour long, and I don't want to watch an hour long video.
No, it's not an hour long. The cast is an hour long. Here, this one is 3 minutes long.
All right, share it. Share it, co-host.
Give me a second, okay?
You're slow.
Yes, I am. It happens.
Fucking idiot.
Page. Share screen.
Months after imposing or threatening to impose tariffs on nearly every country in the world, the Trump administration has secured its first trade deal with the United Kingdom.
But will that deal ease inflation worries or bring down prices for American consumers? NBC's Melanie Zanona has the details from Washington.
Tried to figure out the markets that they're importing from other people President Trump today announcing a trade deal with one of the United States' oldest and strongest allies, the United Kingdom.
That it's a great deal for both parties.
The UK Prime Minister on the phone in the Oval Office.
That we've agreed the basis of a historic economic prosperity deal.
Though it's not quite done.
The final details are being written up in the coming weeks.
The nation's announcing the framework. The newly imposed 10% baseline tariff on British imports will stay. And the average UK tariffs on imports from the U.S. will fall to 1.8% from over 5%. The United Kingdom will fast-track American goods in exchange for economic security.
Do what?
Bro. Rewind that about, 4 seconds. Right there. Now, listen, it says, hold on.
And the average UK...
Right there. Okay, so the average tariffs on imports from the United States will fall to 1.8% from over 5%, over 5% that we used to pay. But if the UK imports goods to us, we're still paying the 10%.
Yep.
That is fucking beautiful. Now that's the America I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Tariffs on imports from the U.S. will fall to 1.8% from over 5%. The United Kingdom will fast-track American goods in exchange for economic security and alignment with the U.S. The deal also gives the United Kingdom a quota of 100,000 cars coming into the United States before the tariffs kick in.
Could you imagine a cheap Rolls Royce? Like a cheaper Rolls Royce? Could you imagine that?
I wouldn't care about Rolls Royce, bro. I want everybody to stop messing around. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Toyota. Why don't you guys stop fucking around and bring out that $10,000 truck you said you guys were going to bring?
Oh, it's already out. It's a piece of crap.
Because it's not what they said it was going to be, bro.
They brought it out. It's a piece of crap.
Of 100,000 cars coming in.
Rolls Royce, though.
What's a Rolls go for? Brand new. What? And you got to think, we're not talking about a Rolls Royce Phantom either. You know what I'm saying? No. But why are we going to bring in Rolls? Why?
Because they came to the table and they wanted to make a deal and they did.
Okay, so Rolls Royce is not cars built for low-income families. Why are these car companies getting away with all this shit and not?
Could you imagine if it was now?
But bro, hear me out. Why are we not coming down on these car companies for not being forced to make a car for the middle to lower class to be more affordable for them?
I mean, that could be a subject, in time, but we need to get our car companies producing cars again.
Not only that, but at the same time, in the same token, you could do that with the hempcrete, make houses, low budgeted houses for low-income families with hempcrete.
What, make car bodies out of hempcrete? Or
no, houses. Like, take the concept of what I just said with the cars and transfer it over to the housing market too.
Yeah. All right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, moving on.
Into the United States before the tariffs kick in. The UK is also committed to buying a certain amount of goods from Boeing. The president admitting this trade deal has been decades in the making, underscoring concerns that trade deals are complicated.
So we could have something of a long runway before we see the ultimate details really hammered out.
The administration is under pressure to strike deals as fears of his tariffs are pushing up prices. Americans struggling to make ends meet, hoping they'll make a difference.
Hey, listen, she said something that disturbs me a little bit.
Yeah, right about here.
And I'm
right
sorry.
there. Fear of his tariffs are pushing up prices.
Which is all a lie because I'm seeing prices come down. Eggs are down.
I've
Gasoline is down.
I've seen Xbox raise their prices because of tariffs, and that's all digital.
All I'm saying is actually physical goods like food and gas, I've seen prices come down.
Yes.
I just went grocery shopping 2 days ago. I
Okay.
know. I saw prices were cheaper than they were the month before.
That's a damn good thing, though.
I put
But
gas
I've
in.
seen
Last
X-
month, gas was $3.26 a gallon. This month, you know how much
I've
it is?
seen- Have we not? Did we not just talk about? I think yesterday, about Xbox raising their prices,
Yeah.
and that's because of this. Fear of his tariffs are pushing up prices for Microsoft. One, and that's just one company that I can think of right off the top of my head. But
Americans struggling to make ends meet, hoping they'll make a difference.
which
That
that's
is
true
true.
too.
That's true.
What's the name of that white?
With Mother's Day in mind, you might be paying more for that bouquet.
Why?
So, ain't your mother worth it?
Flowers are not
I,
not something that we can buy in advance and hold on to. They have to be cut fresh. Consumers are really going to feel that pinch.
Moms-to-be can also expect to pay more for necessary goods for children like strollers, 97% of which are made in China.
The 145% tariff is truly not something we can swallow.
And today's announcement comes ahead of negotiations set.
Now, them strollers, that's pretty much the end of it. But them strollers, they ain't cheap anyway.
They never were cheap. And they're talking high-end strollers. They're not giving them dirty down. You know what I'm saying?
To begin with China this weekend. President Trump's Treasury Secretary heading to Switzerland tomorrow to start high-level talks with his Chinese counterpart. In Washington.
Well,
Get it out. Get it off the screen. Get it out of there.
At least she's coming to the fucking table, finally.
Well, I mean, what can we say?
Well, you know the reason he's coming to the table?
He ain't got a choice.
No, he really don't. His people are pissed.
I don't know, bro.
Dude, right now there's riots going all over China right now.
Is there? Because I ain't heard or seen nothing.
Really?
Yeah, on news, local or mainstream, about
dude.
the riots in China.
No
Look, yeah, let me look that up.
Yeah, recent riots.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But this is New York Post. Do we trust them? No. Deadly riots in China. 100 million Chinese Youth turn against Z, whatever the fuck you want to call them, as mass unemployment rises. That was 3 days ago
Yeah.
because of the tariffs.
Yes.
This is why the collapse of China has begun.
Dude, it's all over.
He has no choice, bro.
Like
This
I
is what's
said,
pushing him. Okay, if anybody wants to go see about those riots, just go look them up on YouTube. They're on every new major media across the world. So there's no denying that. And the beginning of the downfall of China has started. And let me just warn everybody and tell everybody, without American jobs, Americans stay poor.
dude, a couple months ago, how about this? A couple months ago, it was all over TikTok that luxury items are actually made in China,
Yeah.
then sent off to their country to get labeled and sent out.
Yeah.
So why are you paying for the labeling whenever it's so cheaply made?
I do know a few companies down in Georgia that still make American made products. They make carpet for homes. You know what I'm saying? So there's still stuff out there that's American made. Everything's made here in America, you know.
I'm talking about luxury purses, luxury shoes.
Nobody gives a man. Only fucking females care about purses, bro. Why do we care about purses? You know what I care about? The price of a fucking fishing pole. The price of a tackle box. The
Where's
price.
that stuff made at?
You know, that's the prices I'm worried about.
Where's that stuff made at?
Some of it's made here in the USA if you want to pay good money. And if you like me and you're a fisherman like I am, you're gonna pay good money.
I used to be.
You know,
I mean, I have probably 20 poles in the living room. All got line on them.
you
Not
can make
recent
your
line
own
on 'em.
lures. You know,
I ain't got much of that, but
I'm just saying you can make your own lures. You could go buy a roll of string and string your own hooks for the swivels. You know what I'm saying? And have them ready. You know, you could buy a
I
hook
do
mold
use-
and buy a one of those
and I usually have two poles out. One's a bottom rod and going for catfish, and one's a top rod with a bobber on it.
I fish with dude. You know how much I'm a whore on Fishing Planet, right? And I got 5 fishing poles at St. Croix, 4 on the pole holders, and a spin bait in my hand.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the same way in life.
You can only have 2.
I swear to God, dude. I have found somebody who makes a 4-pole pole holder, and as soon as I get some extra money, I'm buying that bitch.
You can only have 2 poles legally.
Says who?
It says on your license.
Well, if I got my wife and son with me, guess what?
They have to be separated or tagged.
No, they don't. That's his, that's hers, those 2 are mine.
And for sure, they know that they have to control their pole. You can't control that pole.
Bro,
You
I
can't be
know
switching
you-
poles mid fishing.
Dude, don't tell me how I can and can't fish, son.
It's the law. I'm not.
I don't give a rat's ass about the fucking law, bro. I used to go out to the lake with 7, 8 fishing poles. 3 I would put to the side, 5 I'd put to use.
And you never got in trouble for it.
Never. I got checked for fishing license all the time.
Because I could have sworn in the law, the fishing and hunting law, while fishing, you can only have 2 poles.
We're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to type that in. Okay. Illinois.
How many poles are you allowed to use while fishing in Illinois?
Hold on.
Find this out, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Boom, 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 boom. Alrighty.
Come on, pop it up on the screen.
Hold
Can't
on.
wait. Come on. Why are you reading it before we read it?
Because I want to make sure I'm reading it from the right article, bro.
Oh, just
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to read it from a bullshit article. I want it to be from Fish and Game. You know what I mean?
But you need to just. Am I gonna have to pull it up?
Okay. Illinois Department of Natural Resources. Here he goes.
Thank
Fish and
you.
Game. I finally found it, bro. Fuck off. Okay?
You're slow.
Dude, you know how long that list was to get to that, dude? You could fuck off. How about that one, bitch? Fucking cunt.
Love it.
Alrighty, here we go. Fishing.
Fishing.
Okay. Fishing details.
Regulation.
Fishing regulation. All fish. 2 poles and line fishing only. Largemouth bass could be 18 inches. Damn, that's great. They raised that up 2 inches. It used to be 16. Bluegill.
2 pole and line fishing only.
Bluegill or red ear sunfish limit 15 per day. Get the fuck out of here. White, black, or hybrid crappie 10-inch minimum. 10 per day. Get the fuck out of here. I've taken way more than that. 6 channel catfish per day.
That's crazy.
Okay. Vehicle regulations. Electric motors only. East Lake is 10 horsepower limit. E, electric motors only. Okay, so
you read it under.
I know what I fucking read, you jackass, but they never ever ticketed me for that.
So I was right.
You was right. I wasn't calling you out. I just said I just don't do that shit. You know what I mean? I've never been ticketed for that, and I've been at Rainbow Lake
the
in
people have to be sitting in front of their pole. is what I was told by cops to fish with multiple poles.
Cops or fishing game?
I mean, cops.
Okay, if they were cops and they said 2 poles, then they must know the law. But fishing game is the ones who really know.
And they said 2 poles.
Well, I fish more than that, and I could give a fuck less.
No.
What are you gonna do? I mean, give me a fucking ticket, give me a slap on the fucking wrist, and wham, tell me I'm grounded for 2 months.
No, but it's a look. It's called fishing, not catching.
No, it's called catching and eating.
No, it's called fishing, not catching. You are not guaranteed to catch anything.
When you got 5+ poles, you're guaranteed to catch something, and it's going to get eaten. So it's at that point in time, it's called catching. Okay.
I'm going catching fishing.
If my floating basket is not fucking full of crappie and bluegill, I don't leave the lake.
Oh man, that's
No, that's a nothing. That's just because Dave don't care, bro.
That's crazy because
I've never been ticketed for it. I've never been said anything to about it. I've been fishing on the rivers and the Sangamon. I've been fishing Sugar Creek. I've fished, Sandcrest, Springfield, Otter Lake. You know, a lot of ponds in between here and there, lakes in Jacksonville, and I've been stopped by every fishing game, and I've always had 3 poles out and 1 in my hand all the time, and I've never had anything ever said to me.
Oh, I have. I've been asked which poles are yours, which poles are theirs.
You know the dam behind Pactiv over there?
Yeah.
In Jacksonville?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where you could catch catfish on bobbers?
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I've been busted over there, and I've never had said anything to me about having 4 poles out. Ever.
Oh, they said there and told me I couldn't fish over there.
They didn't. They just checked my license.
Yeah, me, my mom, Beth, and I think one of my sisters went over there, and we were told to pack up and go to the other side.
I never was.
And then you can't really go into the park side because it's closed at a certain time at sundown.
Yeah. And if they see cars in there, they come looking for you.
Oh boy, do they!
I've had that happen to me.
Me too.
I was on hot fishing and I didn't want to leave. I said, "Fuck, let them lock me in here. I'll stay here all goddamn night."
So when we got
fishing's
kicked
hot.
out there, we didn't even go to the other side, which we were having real good luck at the place because that's a really good place to fish for catfish. We went out to the other side of the backside, the other backside of Jacksonville Lake, and fished over there on the back roads.
Right.
And at that time, we found a place, a little landing. Me and my mom, we just went there and we fished on one side, and Beth just sat next to me, and my sister went and fished on the other side.
Jesus.
And we caught about 6 fish that night.
Good eats.
Oh yeah, good sized catfish.
But anyway, Good pod, good pod, good pod. What do you think? We should cut it out and get out of here? Or...
Cut it out.
Dude, what? No, don't do that. This ain't Full House, bro. All right? Don't do that. No, bro.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody. I'm Gen X Dave, that's smoking a bowl. This is Gen X and Beyond. Holla. Are we really leaving? We're leaving. No.
Almost.
Like. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like.